This conference will now be recorded.
Right. Yeah. So welcome everyone to the new course API Functional QA Job Ready. Okay. So the intention of suffixing the course with Job Ready is to make the newcomers understand each and every concept regarding to QA, especially from the perspective of API Functional QA, to make themselves equipped with the knowledge essential to be performance from day one from their projects once they gets deployed. Okay, and for the already existing employees are the ones who are working in Selenium or some other performance testing tools like Jmeter, etc., which if they want to switch their roles to API functional QA roles, soon into automation roles. So upcoming course will be into automation as well. But yeah, if they want to start their if they want to switch their roles from some other testing into API functional QA. So for them also this course is designed in such a way for freshers, for continuous learners, for the persons who want to shift the roles from some other role into API functional QA. The course is designed in such a way that in these 25 sessions, every uh, concept which is essential to be focused into deploying the resource or the team member to be able to deliver the work and to be enough confident with the knowledge so that they can work along. Okay, so that is the intention. Hope that is the point one that I want to bring the context about. Second, it will be it might bore for you, but these are the different accolades that I received from all the previous students of my previous course. You can go through them from this particular link. And when it comes to me, uh, my name is Sai Krishna. You can call me SK from now. And I'm having 12 plus years of IT experience. I started my career into different roles like functional testing of a banking application. Then I moved into as I completed my MCA, I moved into development, and then into little bit DevOps and cloud integration, then into development of microservices and aggressive testing of them. And then due to some other reasons, I again moved back to my favorite area, which is QA. And from then, I have been working for the past 6 to 8 years on APA functional QA. Okay, so I wear multiple hats like individual contributor, team lead, and I have daily conversations with multiple client stakeholders in all my projects for the past 10 years. So I'll bring all that experience with me to be able to converse with you and have knowledgeable conversations. And I will take care of all your functional queries or any doubts so that we come across for the next 1.5 month plus. Okay, so be with me. I'll take care of all your queries, etc. And one striking point with me is I'm very empathetic, and I strive for knowledge. So for example, let's be practical. Okay, so I'm also like you, correct? So I might not work on all the concepts. For example, that's how IT work experience works, correct? Some of you can acknowledge that or resonate to that. So, for example, you might work on some concept, I might not work on the concept. But if today I don't know that, I will ensure that by the time we meet the next time, I'll equip that knowledge as well, because that much hunger I have towards knowledge. And I'm very passionate about teaching. That brings my association with Isha as well. Thanks for them. Yeah, let's stop here, and I won't further bore you. And I will right away start with the sessions that we delve in this particular course. Okay. Hope someone tells that you are with me. Someone acknowledge with me by chat or by talk. If I'm audible, let's share that and
Yes, sir, we
we'll
are with you.
someone. Yeah, Lokesh. Thank you, Lokesh. Sounds good. Cool. Yeah. So I have designed this particular course in such a way that we'll cover all the different concepts. So this is from Isha Training Solutions. So it is a uh, very well-known reputed institute which is taking care of so many upcoming courses. One such course is our course, API function testing. Okay. So let's go to the course content for today. As it is a demo session, okay, so I'll give a pinch of taste on how the upcoming 25 sessions will be taken care of. Okay, so for your and for our benefit, I have color coded as well, so you can easily understand which concepts belong to which session belongs under which bucket. Cool. So initially, we'll try to understand means my core concentration is, yeah, do you think that theory is essential or practical is essential or both are essential? Just a common question.
Both are essential for us.
Pause for 2 seconds. Somehow I couldn't hear. My audio is 100%. Venki told something, but I couldn't hear it.
Yeah,
It's
both are
fine.
essential, like Sai. So,
Pardon? Can you please repeat, Venki? Sorry for that.
like the theory part as well as the practical, both are essential, respective
Absolutely.
to API.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, so we have to give enough weightage and be practical and uh, about understanding the theoretical concept which is essential and have enormous or good hands-on, which which will further prove that we understood the theory. Okay, so this course, in all these sessions I have designed the course in such a way that we understand the theoretical concepts and we on more focus is on implementing that theory into practicals. As so you go to your client and you explain the concepts, will your client be happy? Of course he is happy for the first 10 to 15 minutes, but he is more eager to understand what is being implemented, what you have worked upon. So can you show me all our agile projects? So if some, for a newcomer I'll deal about what is agile, etc. So I'll take care of that. But for someone who already knows it, agile means we are continuously running towards achieving the deliverables to the client. Okay, deliverable means something that is working product, be it development product or be it testing product, something that is working which can be demoed at the end of the sprint. So yeah, everyone are interested on how it works. They will first encourage you to tell what it is, but they're more interested on how it works. Can you show me? So this course is complete focus on understanding the theory and especially more on implementing it through so many hands-on exercises. I'll daily, in every session, I'll post a question or an assignment or the theoretical interview questions, so that by the next session we'll discuss them as well. I'll encourage you to do those assignments, and those will help you to understand the theory that was discussed in the previous session. Cool. With that, we'll delve into the different concepts that we will be covering throughout this course. And let's open MS Paint for. Yep, that's there. Cool. So API basics. So what is your current intention to be able to deliver the work related to any functional concept with respect to web services or in specific APIs that we call. Okay, cool. For that, first we have to understand what are APIs, correct? What is an API and what is the difference between an API and web service, and what are the different benefits that API reaps us? Okay, so without benefits, it won't be that much popular, correct? And in the first session I'll bring you, if for a complete newcomer or for someone, as I being a developer, I worked on multiple architectures like 3 tier. monolith microservices and service oriented architecture, so and event driven as well, Kafka, etc. I'll bring that knowledge to you, how the architecture is laid out and for different projects for their own uh, business perspective. And then this is the hot topic for the past 5 to 6 years. Every application that is there, not every application, not necessary, but most of the applications, like all your retail applications or all your insurance based applications are uh, if any application to consume less resources to be more performant and to consume less financial aspects and to deliver quickly, if if that is asked, so those particular applications are being converted or shifted from monolith to microservices, which we will discuss more on tomorrow's session. So that's one thing. And the different web service communication types, so there are SOAP, REST, XML, RPC. So I haven't worked much on XML, RPC, but we'll discuss that as well. But the hot topic, or the industry started when I started my career, I worked on SOAP web services. Okay, so these are XML based web services, which has their own advantages and so many disadvantages as well. That's when REST architecture comes in, RESTful web services. And JSON being very handy with RESTful web services makes it lightweight. Cool. And then we'll understand the different applications currently leveraging microservices architecture with examples. Okay. So if you are curious enough, by tomorrow, I want you to list a few of the applications those are currently using microservices, just for an assignment perspective. Just just name some applications that you see day in and day out which are using microservices tomorrow, or you can ping right well as well. But yeah, just have that exercise for tomorrow. Cool. uh, I expect you to list these applications which are using microservices. So you'll be amazed to see some of the applications. Oh, you'll think that, oh, these are also using microservices. Cool. So that's we'll pause it for tomorrow. Cool. The next session is REST basics. So we have to understand API, we have to understand REST. Though the main concentration is on RESTful web services, which are being aggressively used for the past 8 to 10 years plus in all the different applications and projects. um, SOAP is also essential to test. Okay, SOAP web services are also essential to test. That's when I have had a detailed I listed out, I think, somewhere here. So you can see, you can tell me as well. Yeah, see, Postman basics, working with SOAP API requests with Postman. That also will take care of. Okay, cool. So, who are the complete newcomers here? May I know? Just if you can raise your hand, or if you can say me, that's enough for me, so that I can understand. I can understand who are the complete newcomers. Sumedha, complete newcomer. Yeah, be with me, Sumedha. Venki, complete newcomer. Mm, yes. So you are there. Yeah, you both are there in my mind when I talk about these APS. Okay. So even though my vocabulary has so many acronyms which deal with the APIs, which we'll use in our job life day in and day out, when you have any question, stop me right away at that point from tomorrow onwards, so that I'll explain the concepts in a easy format for you to grasp that concept. I'll have this MS Paint with me. I'll explain the concept so that you can easily understand any concept. Okay, so I'll strive for that. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Cool. So in the second successful session onwards, we'll discuss about the REST basics, like SOAP versus REST. What is the advantage that SOAP brings? Okay. So before SOAP, what was there? So what is SOA? Okay. What is service oriented architecture? Then what is SOAP? What is REST? Why RESTful web services so prominent these days? Why the focus of industry, IT industry, is turning towards more and more on RESTful web services? Why not soap? Why soap is discontinued slowly? Still there are applications those are involving soap. Okay, if you take 100 web services, 100 APIs which are used in any project, at least some 5 to 8 web services, like, you can tell they are still on SOAP. Okay, but the remaining web services, 90 plus web services or APIs, are more focused on RESTful. Okay, RESTful. So why these few web services are so why more web services are RESTful? We'll focus on that in this particular session. And what is statelessness? So first step of understanding RESTful architecture or RESTful web services is to understand statelessness behavior. Okay, without which this is the foundation on which RESTful architecture is built on top of it. Okay, so without understanding what is stateless, understanding REST is just having a building without foundation. Cool. So then we will understand query and path parameters. So if you take any particular, so I'm very curious. For example, if you see, uh, I have yesterday downloaded this Notepad++ software as I have recently installed the operating system. Then, for example, if you go here, um, let's Control Shift I, which will bring you the developer tools of the corresponding browser. Okay, if you press Control Shift I, so then let's have this curious thing. So once after completing the course, you will see all the applications from the eye of web services or APIs. Cool. So I'll teach in such a way, and I'll make you in such a way so that let's see how you will see by the end of 25th session. So Notepad plus plus download. Okay, cool. Go to the network tab, clear the console, go to downloads. Not even inspector is for Selenium, that's fine. Go to downloads. Okay, clear the console once again, or yeah, clear the go to network tab, clear the console once again. Let's click on, just be curious. Okay, click that. So now you understood, and let's filter xhr from this xhr. Somewhere we'll see type is xhr. Okay, let's take it for a different day, but let's delete it, and let's uh, let's click download plus plus once again, Notepad plus plus once again. That brings you, so now you'll understand that, see how many web services are being invoked for a single mouse click action. Now you understood that every application like Notepad plus plus or simple any application, for that matter, our go to meeting also in the back end, might be the front end is React or Angular, but in the back end, if you just press Control Shift I here as well, and if you go to network tab. Okay, network tab, and type a hi and try to understand, or let's take it for a different session. But here also you see, for um, here's name is Sai Krishna, the request URL is this one. Okay, let's Control C and Control V here. Then you'll understand this is the base URL. Okay, this is the base URL, and this is the base endpoint, this is the path variable, and meetings is one another path variable. Okay, the newcomers don't confuse. I will teach in such a way that you'll have a meal with a banana. Okay, in that easy format, I'll teach you, but for the already experienced persons or known persons, so these are some terminologies. So this is the base endpoint, and this is the path variable. We'll call this particular part as the path variable, and here also this is the path variable. Okay, and whatever is there with question mark, the key value pairs. Okay, so until here. Okay, this is your query parameter, and we have such key value pairs query parameters all along throughout the URL. So by the way, first and foremost, what is this particular thing? This is your URL, uniform resource locator. It holds so much of information for us to understand. Every day is a continuous learning for us, guys. Okay, if you have to see everything as it gives us knowledge if we seek it in such a way. So see, this might seem like a normal URL, but it has this much information. Okay, I intended to tell about Notepad plus plus, but this is also fine. Okay, now you understood this is a path variable. Okay, so that's what we'll discuss in this particular session. Where is our notion? Yeah, so query and path parameters, headers, request response, CRUD operations. CRUD means create, read, update and delete. Okay, that's what you will do, correct? In any banking application, you'll create an account, you'll get the account details through read operation, you'll update your password through update operation. Once you don't want that bank account, you can, someone will use a delete operation so that your account gets deleted. So okay, so every CRUD operation revolves around using proper HTTP verbs. Okay, that's where your RESTful web services are gaining popularity, because they rely more on HTTP concept, which relies more on stateless. Okay, not more on. HTTP means stateless. Cool. I already gave the hint, but we'll discuss more in this particular session on understanding all these particular concepts. Okay, cool. So here you can understand, okay, this query parameter. Oh, I don't understand what this is. They are using some algorithm. What is this particular algorithm? HMAC is the algorithm and SHA is some encryption standard. Okay, so now you understand that this particular notepad plus plus is deployed in GitHub. Okay, in GitHub, and this is the base URL. This is the base URL, and some random key that have generated for each and every resource or whoever they are downloading the software. Some, these are all your query parameters. Okay, so on particular date, this particular person called SK has downloaded, and in another 300 milliseconds, this particular link gets expire, and this is your security signature. And these are all your headers. Okay, so whatever is there prefixed with X, those are all your headers. Once we delve into postman, you'll more understand them as well. Okay, I don't want you, what is that, I don't want you to be more hurry in understanding, but once that particular day is there, I will take care of making you very comfortable in understanding all these concepts. Okay, cool. That's your tidbit on how this course goes on more into practical, real-time practical knowledge, which is enough to be deployable for any functional API QA job. Next, we'll delve about HTTP protocol. Just here, we'll understand what the HTTP is, but we'll focus more on understanding HTTP verbs, not only just theory, uh, and what exactly goes in the background. Okay, what happens in the background, and what are different. This is a very fa- I don't encourage you to attend the job interviews by preparing 25 to 30 interview questions. That's not the proper way. Understanding the concepts, and side way interview questions should be a side benefit, but concept should be our first priority. Okay, understanding the clear concept should be our first priority. So interview questions will come along. Okay, cool. So one such interview question that you will be asked in your upcoming job roles or a fresher job roles or experienced job roles are, what are some HTTP safe methods, what are some HTTP unsafe methods. Okay, so what is safe, unsafe, that we'll discuss. What are the list of HTTP methods which are safe, which are unsafe, and what are the frequently used HTTP status codes. You can see here there are so many HTTP status codes. And by the way, tell me who are from other than India location, so that I'll take care of your time as well. I know that you are hitting your 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. Tell me in the chat later, so that I will also understand your time. I'll give importance to your timeline as well, time zone as well. See, these are all different HTTP codes here. Okay, 1xx, 2xx, 3xx. So, do you mean that you have to by heart or understand everything? Absolutely not. But do you have to neglect everything? Absolutely not as well. But you have to give enough importance to understand, if some API is giving you, for example, let's go to your Notepad plus plus. If you see 302, you should understand what that is. You should understand 200. You should understand what that is. Okay, if you get some error 204, you should understand what that is. Okay, so what is your end goal by the end of this course or throughout this course? So you have to be deliverable, you have to do your duties effectively in your jobs, or you have to understand the concepts in your job. So if, for example, why are we here, why are the QS we are here, we have to test the application in and out. You have to understand, first step is understand your business functionality. And now the job requires of APF QA knowledge. You have to test the application which is relying upon web services, and you have to understand What are headers? What is the request? What is the response? Okay, let's take a successful API. Okay. um, Anything, something we hit earlier, no? Generator something. Okay, let's take a poster. As of now it got refreshed and it shows it doesn't show anything, but if it is a post request, what is going in the headers? What is the status code that we got out of this sending the post request? What are the different request headers that we have to focus on? If your developer says that he has added a new pair of request headers, so that you have to include in your existing suite of APIs, then you have to test whether this particular request header is being used in invoking this particular API endpoint or not. So, and then what are the different response headers and what are the different response body or the schema that we get and that we have to test for. These are all different aspects that we have to focus on in testing these web services, guys. Okay, don't get confused. I'll teach everything in such a way. Let's have engaging conversations from tomorrow. uh, let's understand slowly one by one. Let's build the floor one by one through our effort. Okay, so don't try to eat everything at once. Okay, let we have to eat digest and build upon. Okay, so that's one thing. Cool. So why I'm showing all the things is this is how everything I'll see through example, and so that I'll remember and I'll be more practical and deliverable at my work as well. Okay, that's how if we learn it. That's I can suggest. So it's your take. You can, if you relate everything through theory and practical example, it will get registered permanently in your mind, and whenever you want to retrieve that information, yes, that will be handy for you. Next we'll understand what is postman. Okay, what is postman? Okay, let's postman is a web service testing tool or the client. Okay, so do you think postman is the only tool? No. It is very famous. Okay, 25, their homepage will tell that 25 million applications or 25 million users are currently using postman. We'll try to understand what are the different aspects of this postman web API client. Okay, why I'm calling it client, I'll tell on that particular day. So okay, cool. So what are the different HTTP methods those are being used to invoke the API? What is the what is the request? So by the way, why Postman is being used? Any guess? Why can't we do that? So you can see all these things here, correct? But what is the necessity? Why can't we use developer tools? Why only Postman? Why only an external third party tool like Postman is essential for us, or Postman or Insomnia? Some projects might use postman. Mostly postman is being used, but that doesn't mean that we have to understand only postman. There is another tool called Insomnia, which I used for one of my project assignment at Google. So yeah, by the way, I came with enormous knowledge. I worked for the clients like uh, Bank of New York Mellon, Google, Apple, and some of the insurance clients like travelers, etc. So I'll bring all that practical knowledge and the client conversations also with you. Okay, cool. So this is your postman. So this is your get request. This is a header. This is authorization. I will tell what is authorization, what is authentication, etc. And what is test, what is pre-request script, what are this particular environment variables, what are your global variables. Everything we'll discuss. We'll lay out the foundation in such a way that we'll understand the concept and we'll add on top of it. Okay, through practical knowledge. Cool. That's your postman walkthrough will be dealt in this particular course. What are different request collections, variables? There are so many concepts. Okay, tests, pre-request scripts, and tests, etc. And what are the different capabilities that Postman brings for us? Next is JSON basics. Okay, without JSON, understanding RESTful web services is a myth. Okay, uh, mark my words. Okay. JSON, we have to understand JSON in such a way, and we have to and by the way, what is JSON path? Okay, why JSON path is necessary for us? Okay, we have to form these JSON paths. JSON path is for JSON as XPath is for XML. Okay, cool. I'll I'll tell what XPath is, what is JSON path is, why JSON path is necessary for us. Okay, why QA have to focus on understanding JSON path expressions, how to form them. how to give importance to forming JSON path expressions so that we'll do our API QA duties perfectly. Okay, so JSON and understanding JSON basics, JSON path basics, how to construct a proper JSON path, what is a schema, what is a JSON schema, and what is how to validate the JSON schema. All these things are uh, your astras to work in you as if API function QA. Okay, cool. You'll use them. Trust me, you'll use one or more of these in more frequently if you are relying more on API function QAs. Rather, in automation as well, we'll use it. Okay, that will cover in a different course, upcoming course. But yeah, let's focus here. So Postman basics, and whenever I say Postman, you can say Insomnia basics or any API client basics. Okay, let's for this course benefit, let's understand we are using Postman more. Okay, so collection runner. So what is a collection runner? What is Newman? Hey man, what is this Newman? So uh, we have to understand what this particular third party library is. What is this particular third party HTML extra library is? What is this fantastic third party faker library is? What is faker, by the way? Okay, what is, why you have to fake an API when such need arises? How to use a faker library, what benefits a faker library brings us, all these particular concepts will be dealt here. Okay, next is creating do you think that documentation is necessary for us? Do you think it is necessary? What is importance of document? Can anyone tell? I know that Venki or someone will tell it, but I encourage others also to be more okay. Hi Deepa, you are from USA. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. So yeah, can someone tell, is documentation is necessary or absolutely not necessary?
Documentation is necessary for at least traceability part of it. So if
Uh,
you're tracing anything, if you're going back and checking on, what went wrong or something to be guided without any dependencies, we need documentation.
Absolutely, you are bang to the point. Thanks, Prem. Yes, as Prem mentioned, documentation is absolutely necessary. But
In addition to that, we'll be checking the whether post collections existing one and any changes in the new one, like request and response, what new request and everything. We'll be going through the documentation one.
absolutely. Let's think that Deepa. Let's think that Venki has currently is working on some other tool, but he's been deployed into API function QA. Now he interview a client interview already happened. Now he's deployed in the project, and sprint has started. So he has given a user story or a Jira ticket. Okay, Jira task. That Jira task asks Venki to test a particular API which is specific to that business functionality. Now, what is Venki's first go? Venki's first go should be referring to the existing document because he is a newcomer, correct? He doesn't know anything at all. So there should be some documentation which more, my focus is don't concentrate too much on documentation, but we have to give enough importance to have the absolutely necessary documentation that is necessary for every employee to go ahead, refer to it, and test the application properly. So let's for the time benefit, I don't go too much on documentation as of now, but once this particular uh, session is there, someone remind me. I'll go through the Spotify documentation as well as some other famous third-party APIs are there, no? So Dropbox, etc. Those documentations will refer to. Okay, Twitter documentation, any documentation will refer to that on that particular day, and we'll try to understand how a documentation look like, and also we'll create documentation. Once we understand what is the importance of documentation, we'll create how we will create the documentation. Okay, and how we will publish that particular documentation. Here I'm emphasizing more on API documentation, not just theory, not just a Word document. I am emphasizing on API documentation here. How we will create it, how we will publish it, and etc. We'll understand in this particular session, and also how to monitor the collections. Okay, collection means just take it as an English word. Okay, so list of entities together. we'll call it as a collection, correct? Similarly, list of folders or list of HTTP requests here will be termed in Postman language as collections. Okay, if you create new here, they will ask you, are you going to create a collection? So that's what we'll understand, how to create a collection. All these different concepts which are necessary, which are in the scope of this course, we'll try to understand. And once we create a collection, how to monitor API collections also we'll try to understand. Next, we'll try to understand. Yeah, we'll wrap. Deepa will wrap the introductory session, introductory demo session in another 10-15 minutes maximum. If that is good for you, you can raise your hand or you can acknowledge that. Yeah. So, guys, if I delve into a concept, I might take an extra 5 minutes. Uh, so I don't if a course is there for 45 minutes, I have to be strict. I have to keep an atomic clock with me, so that I have to shut down the course within 45 minutes. That's not my intention. Even if it takes 10-15 minutes extra, or how much ever time that is extra, I being empathetic, and I strive for knowledge, and I strive for knowledge from your perspective, so that I will take an extra minute. uh, be with me. It is for my good, your good. Okay. So if such cases arise, I don't hesitate to take extra time and make you comfortable in understanding the knowledge. That's a promise from my side. Cool. So what is mocking? What is the use of mocking? What is mocking is an English term, correct? So yeah. So in real time, mocking is necessary. Okay. Why that is necessary? By the way, what is mocking? Why that is necessary? When we require mocking of an API, how, what is a mock server? How to build a mock server through Postman? All these things we can understand. Next, working with SOAP API requests with Postman. Okay. Even though our course focuses more on RESTful web services, in such a case, I told you, correct, in out of 100 APIs, let's take it as an example, some less than 5 or less than 8 APIs are just a random number. So those few APIs are still in SOAP. Still they are using SOAP for their own security purposes. So in such case, if Venki or Prem or our another participants, yeah, thank you, Deepa, if they arise a situation like if they are thrown a task on how to test a SOAP web service, yeah, here is your session for that. Okay. Take this knowledge and understand how to test, how to work with SOAP API requests. Okay. Cool. That earlier in my initial days we used another tool called SOAP UI. But as Postman gains more importance, and Postman is, if some tool is getting prominent, they will try to acquire that particular. They will take the advantage and they will try to include that functionality also. Correct. So we don't have to go to SOAP UI to test SOAP web services. Rather, we can still use our REST client Postman to test SOAP web services. How to do that, we will understand in this particular session. Then once you are enough with these hands-on, then again we'll focus on API lifecycle. Who is a publisher? Who is an API? Who is an API publisher? What are their roles and responsibilities? Who is an API manager? Roles and responsibilities. Who is an API consumer? Okay. If you are already being worked in API projects, you will try to understand that. Hey, consume. Did you consume the API? Did you publish the API? Did you build the API? Okay. Did you create or design the API? Okay. And if your microservices is the if you are working on microservices, I have those sessions also for your knowledge purpose. But in microservice world, we'll try to discover the existing web services, we'll try to access them, integrate different web services, all these things at a high level. Even though these are so vast concepts, in the limited 1 hour time, I will bring enough knowledge for you to understand. If someone talks, the intention of this particular session 10 is, if someone talks about all these terms, we should be confident or comfortable enough to understand what's happening in the background. Okay. And we should perform our duties properly. Cool. Next, there are tools like Fiddler and Wiremock. We'll try to understand how to work with these particular tools called Fiddler and Wiremock, and what are those and how to work with them. And next is very, very important, in fact, API chaining. So for example, if Venki is asked to test a web service, that doesn't mean that this particular web service is atomic. Means it doesn't work on its own. It has to do hand in hand. So CRUD operation, correct? CRUD, that we discussed earlier. So employee, this is me. Employee record has been created. Once it is created, I have to read that record. Once I have to read, if I update next, whether the data is properly updated or not, again I have to do a read operation. And once I delete this particular record, I have to ensure again I have to do a read to understand whether the record is properly deleted. And proper response codes like 200 okay, 201 created. And I don't suggest to by heart all this. Even I might be wrong, but yeah, let's understand what these are. And we have to suggest developers to use the proper HTTP status codes in their uh, web service development tasks or API development tasks. Okay, so here these are create is not atomic. It is not working in silos. It has to go hand in hand with a chain. Okay, so every API, if you are talking about if you are talking about an operation like creating an employee record, that doesn't mean that create is only one API is being used. For this particular create, there might be some other 2 to 3 API calls, and for get some other 1 to 2 API calls. All this go hand in hand, and that particular concept will term it as API chaining. Okay, so once we understand the concept of API chaining, we'll try to go through Spotify's existing documentation. Spotify, okay, the music app which everyone might be using before they go to sleep or when they're going in a bus, etc. Okay, cool. We'll go through their developer documentation. Okay, and let's be more aggressive, guys, towards understanding more practical hands-on. Okay, this course is more into hands-on. Okay, while understanding the necessary theory. Okay, mark my words. So Spotify API documentation, understanding that go to their developer portal, access their documentation, build the APIs, do the API chaining. And let's try to, once we understand what is mocking here, let's try to use wire mock. And what is mocking we understood, what is wire mock we understood. Then we will use the same Spotify developer portal. And we already understood it, the developer portal concept also in session 1. Okay, session 10. So once we understood all these terms, then we are comfortable on session 12 on this particular date, and we'll wire all our knowledge different resources that we understood until that point of time, and we'll do API chaining as well as API mocking through Postman. Okay, cool. Then we'll understand chai assertions library, Lodash JavaScript utility library, leveraging these libraries to validate API requests and responses. Okay, for someone who are very new to understanding chai, etc., chai API Postman. Go to, okay, chai.js or chai Postman. Okay, not the plugin, but it's okay for just a test purpose. Yeah, this is the actual library. It is a JavaScript library. Okay, cool. And we'll go to its guide on that particular day, and we'll try to understand how this particular, what is meant by assertion. If someone who already did unit testing, they understand what this particular name called assertion is. Okay, assertion means we'll we'll use the library and teach our uh, assert in proper word, assert this particular test. Like once this particular API call is made, and if 200 is the response that we are seeking, is 200 is matching with the exact API response of 200, what is actual, what is expected. So how to do that in Postman? Okay, do Postman have all the capabilities to do everything on its own? No, that's not how a typical use case or typical application look like. That's how APIs are gaining prominent popularity, correct? If spot if I if my application, if for example, let's just a few seconds. Okay, weather API. I don't have to specifically build weather API. There is a particular application called Open Weather Map API. They have their own weather API endpoints. Okay, I have to pay for them. I have to subscribe. I have to pay, etc., etc., as per their subscriptions. And I don't have to build everything from scratch. I have to pay. I have to subscribe to those free APIs or uh, money related APIs, and we have to go to their documentation. Uh, we have to call how to make an API call, etc., etc. And for example, current weather data, okay, API doc, okay, how hourly forecast, okay. So this is your this is that particular weather API is bringing, okay, or some base stations, some main. So in that particular JSON session, we'll try to understand how to, if you are thrown about a random JSON, how you have to understand what the content is like. Okay, I will make you comfortable to understand all these things, crystal clear. Okay, cool. So just to be more specific, so if so, this particular weather API is we have to consume the data by invoking this particular weather endpoint. Okay, cool. So that's how we have to leverage the existing APIs, and we have to assert by using the third party libraries called chai assertion library and lodash. Okay, whether we are getting proper response by invoking the weather endpoint, whether it is giving any 404 not found or 500 internal server error, we have to assert. Okay, that's what our job is, correct, in our day in day out work life. So yeah, through eyes we can tell whether it is proper or not, but how a computer will understand whether it is a proper or not? It is just a machine, correct? We have to teach it. Hey boss, whether this API is getting you 500, I am asking you, by telling this assertion, by giving this assertion, if it is matching with 500, make this particular test pass. If it is not matching with 500, make this particular test fail, okay, etc etc. Just as an example, we'll leverage these lodash and chai assertions library, and we'll include them in postman, and we'll assert our tests. Then we'll understand different media type formatters, a super concentration session, authentication and authorization. Okay, those two are very gaining more popularity because yeah, authentication is necessary, authorization is also necessary. What is the difference between them? What are the different types of authentications that we have until now, or at least until what I am aware of until, yeah, in all my work life? And what is basic authentication, what is digest, what is form based, API key based, and OAuth. Okay, though we understand so many things, but our focus is on what is more prominently used. One is API key based, and as of now these days it is OAuth. Okay, so these two are more gaining more popularity. Cool. So we'll try to understand them as well in this particular session. Then we'll understand JOT. We'll call it as short for JOT. It is known as JSON Web Token, how it works, and basic hands-on on JSON Web Token. Then we'll understand another open source, as this complete course is throughout practical. Let's try to understand Twitter API documentation and its hands-on, and how to in real time. This is what earlier we understood, no, through Venki's example. If you and me go into another project, we will be we will be given the existing documentation to refer for a week or two maximum, and go through the functionality, refer to the documentation, okay, start our work. Okay, it's that simple and tough and challenging, but it's okay. We have to learn and develop. So that's what the intention of driving through Twitter open source API documentation on this particular day. Okay, in real time we'll try to understand the existing API walkthrough of another third party's application called Twitter. Might be Twitter or whichever is available at the time, or Dropbox or Spotify, anything we'll discuss in this particular day. Okay, cool. That's real time. Okay, so that's very important. Cool. Next is Postman basics. Integration of Postman API test with Jenkins, another continuous integration, continuous deployment platform. I also know basic to decent DevOps knowledge as well, because I worked on it as well. Cool. Jenkins will try to understand how to integrate our Postman API tests with Jenkins. Next, who are with me to understand Git, about Git? Okay, so this is absolutely necessary if you are working in a distributed working environment. Okay, so this is an add-on through this course, and this is necessary, even though that doesn't have to do anything with the API functional QA, but this is an add-on which is very important. Uh, I am aware of some applications where the tests are being pushed to their GitHub repository. Client has this particular ask. Okay, so in that particular case or scenario, what is meant by Git? What are the different operations that we have to do day in and day out, like create a repository, create authentication, create SSH key, access existing GitHub repository, create a branch. What is a branch? Okay, all these things. So what is the main branch? What is the main branch? What is how to create a sub branch? How to create another sub branch from the sub branch? How you merge this particular branch with this? How this particular branch will be merged to the main branch? How to resolve the conflicts while merging? How to pull the existing code? How to commit and push our code to the repository? What is remote repository? What is local repository? All such concepts we will try to understand here. So if you are zero matlab, if you don't know anything about Git, I will make you comfortable after that 1 hour session, so that you will do all your Git related version control tasks on your own, while initially relying on your teammates. But that's necessary, no? Initially we are not superhumans, no? Initially we need help also from our teammates, but you are very confident enough at that particular time that you will deal on yourselves most of the concepts regarding Git. Okay, cool. Then once we understand Git, my intention is to make that Git understanding through running the tests using GitHub Actions, another prominent DevOps uh, flavor from GitHub. Okay, cool. Then we will understand the different microservices concepts, and at last we will try to understand. We will create a Spring Boot application. Okay, this is absolutely not necessary, but interest perspective, we will create a Spring Boot CRUD API using MySQL DB, and we'll create how developers are creating the API, how they are providing the information as the API response and API headers, etc. Bring this, create this Spring Boot application, and from a testing point of view, how we will test those created APIs. Okay, I'll create a real-time example for you by integrating the database and the Spring Boot backend API, and how we are accessing through Postman from the QA testing point of view. We still have 3 minutes. I'm monitoring the time. I'll be on it.
Like I
So
hear, like for Spring Boot application, do we need any Java knowledge for this?
absolutely, you don't require any Java knowledge, but uh, as means that is absolutely not necessary for this course. But for our benefit only, I'm telling. Okay, you don't require
Okay,
any Java knowledge, but I there are some existing third party repositories. For example, if you go to GitHub employee CRUD Spring Boot. Okay, Spring Boot, there are so many employee CRUD in Spring Boot. We'll clone this particular repository. And we'll try to understand what's happening, how developers are creating these particular endpoints, how we are accessing, what is the base endpoint. So this intention is not you and me to understand Java here. The intention is how they are building these endpoints. What is this particular flower bracket here? What is it doing? So what is the benefit that you get from this session is you and me will be because of our proactiveness, our interest. If we ask our client or any stakeholders that, yeah, boss, I don't want to do blind testing, I don't want to do black box testing. I am here to test your application properly. I am keen to understand the knowledge. Please give me the access to the developer repository. Once you get the
okay,
access to the repository, now this particular session makes you comfortable to understand what is this particular slash employee is, what is the flower braces ID is, what is edit doing. Once we create what is the written form is doing here, how each layer is calling other layer. So this session will make you comfortable to understand your existing repositories, existing application backend repositories, and go through them as per your interest, and test the application properly. That sounds correct?
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. So Spring Boot application with MySQL backend, and once we understand the functionality perspective, and once we understand the technical perspective of the application, we have more astras with us to test the application more effectively, so that more bugs will be raised in the lower environments, which can be avoided in the higher environments like UAT, especially in the production, which client is never happy about. Okay, so we have to raise so many bugs in the lower environments, which are very essential bugs, and so that they can be rectified. How we can raise the bugs? We don't do something ad hoc, or we don't do something monkey testing all the time. Correct? We have to absolutely understand what this particular API is there for us. What so now if we understand the technical perspective of it, we can break the code and we can raise the bugs so that it can be fixed in the lower environment, which can be avoided in the higher environments like UAT and prod, so that the application is more robust and stable in the higher environments. Our duty is to make the application robust through progressing from lower to higher environments by raising bugs and let the developer fix them and assign back and we retest. So this session is for that. Yeah, we already crossed the time. Yeah, next is these three sessions are for real time, especially this is also real time, and something like one second. Yeah, this is also real time. Okay, cool. So every most of the concepts here are real time and hands on. Okay, so once we understand all these, for a completely newcomers, my intention is to make them comfortable and understanding what are the different application environments, what is the developer workflow, and what is how they do all these developer workflow, what is the tester workflow, what are the different tests that we do day in and day out, okay, very frequently. Then after understanding it, we'll go through agile real time. Will If time permits, I'll create an agile account, a Jira account, and I'll will create the epics, the user stories, the tasks and subtasks, and we'll try to have a engaging conversation of developer workflow and a tester workflow. And at the end, this is our bread and butter, correct? API test cases. So and also, if time permits, in all these sessions also we'll have a engaging conversation of creating test cases. But at the end, we will try to create as many test cases or what are the different test cases from API perspective that we can take, that we have to take care of, and Jira high level hands-on user story workflow from the QA perspective, etc. Okay, so be the session or the course, add 1 or 2 days extra. I don't mind. All my interest is for you to be comfortable in your new roles or in your existing job upcoming roles. Okay, that's what this course is designed for. Thanks for being with me throughout this course, throughout this duration of 1 hour, almost 1 hour. Thanks for your time. I respect your time as well. And yeah, and if you have any further doubts, or if you have any further queries, from tomorrow onwards, as we are kicking or hitting from session 1, uh, just approach in WhatsApp or to these particular numbers, so that they will take care of your joining. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll focus on from session 1 onwards. And I wish you all the best. Okay, thanks very much. I'll stop the
Like,
recording
size
now.
up one query here.
Yep.
You can stop the recording and we can discuss
No,
about
no,
this.
no, go ahead. Is it something specific knowledge or any other thing?
Like both, it's
Yeah,
mixed up
then
both.
go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah,
So
let's have
suppose you
this
said like
discussion.
API test cases, right? So those, like, it will be like functional testing side we'll be focusing on, or as like from the API perspective, what needs to be finalized and what need to be tested, like 200 CSS code and 400 or 500. So how many types
Exactly.
of,
Yeah, yeah. And I
from
understood your
tomorrow
question.
onwards we are going to discuss based on that. We'll be going further, or it's like how it is.
I understand your question. So your application is different from Sumeda application or Lokesh application or Deepa application, correct?
Yeah.
So though our core intention is to understand the application functionality, but testing the APIs is common for you, me, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
we'll cover on the API point of view. The perspective is API testing kind of test cases, not your banking related function test case, not my insurance application related function test case, or Lokesh, what is it, Amazon kind of application function test case. The concentration is on what are the different API, what are the tests that we have to do in any of the application, like how to test headers, what are the most common test cases that we have to cover in tests, like testing headers, testing request body, testing response codes, testing response body. If you are into performance application, performance testing roles, what are the different aspects that you have to take care of in your performance test case, like response time, etc. Okay, what is how to test response schema? All these things we will cover in that particular session. What are the different test cases that we can that those most what is it, most frequently that we can use in our day in and day out applications. Okay, concentration is on APA, but functional knowledge is specific to each and our projects.
Okay.
Hope that
Got
answers.
it. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. In the interest of time, let me stop here. From tomorrow onwards, please join sharp at 8 a.m. We'll be hitting the target from tomorrow in that which is specific to that particular session. Stopping the recording.